Welcome back to the Tavern. Modern society has developed an incredible philosophy. We want all the benefits, just somewhere else. People want AI, cloud storage, streaming, infinite convenience, instant access to literally everything, everywhere, all at once. But the second someone wants to build the actual infrastructure nearby to people, suddenly everybody becomes an environmental philosopher. Because the internet feels magical until you realize a cloud is just warehouses full of screaming computers drinking enough electricity to power a small civilization and sucking down water to keep themselves cool that we need to survive. Well, tonight in the Tavern, on episode 528, The Data Center Argument, we ask, do people actually understand what modern life costs? Or do we just want invisible convenience forever? I bet you have an answer.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to the Tavern. I am your host, Travis Sivart, and I am I think I'm going to have a Coke Zero with Kraken, so a Kraken and Coke in my Carnage glass. So my Kraken and Coke in Carnage. But I've got what a beautiful bottle. Since the first time I've ever seen these bottles, I've just loved the shape of them. But, yeah, that's what I'm doing tonight. Andrea, what about you?
Oh, just like always, I have tea. Because...
And tea got you, baby.
You don't have to drink every show, so I don't. There we go.
It's important to hydrate.
Who made that rule?
You know what? Okay, go ahead, Ed.
Okay, I'm having some John J. Bowman's because it's really, really good. And after the show, maybe I'll have me some tea.
Hey. Not
What about you, Kevin?
this tea this time.
This evening, I am supping on a blood orange flavoured Thatcher's cider.
Very nice. Is that named after
It is.
Margaret Thatcher?
God, no, I wouldn't let it anywhere near me.
What's that taste like? Bitter. Okay, let's get an opening toast here.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm biased about Thatcher, but the day she died, every hour on the hour, I posted the video of Ding Dong the Witch is Dead from The Wizard of Oz.
I know somebody that did that for their ex-mother-in-law.
Nice.
Go ahead, toast. Travis.
Was it you?
No, I love my mother-in-law, both of them.
Julie was fucking great, and I don't.
Their daughters, not so much, but
Oh, that's fair. There's a reason. Okay, Andrea wants the.
Toast.
Hold on, I've got to put a screen over the chat because I am gonna read the fuck out of that shit.
Before we, I'll read. Okay, T. Tal says, yes, T. My wife's name is Teresa. Her nickname is T. Henceforth, I'll have her after the show. So, and then she's, yeah.
And then my name is Travis, and at some point in time, different people have just called me just T. Or T.
I'll have him too.
Ed used to call me T-Rex.
Yeah. Toast.
Oh, yeah, let's do a toast.
Thanks to Steve, our wonderful sound guy.
Yeah, the quiet guy in the corner who doesn't say much. So,
Here.
here's to
Yes.
Steve. And also, here's to getting more information. Just don't make it happen in my backyard.
You'll get a lot of fucking information out of my backyard, baby.
Depends how
Whole
big
fucking
we
house
do.
on
Yeah.
a hill. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We want to talk about data centers. So this is a new-ish argument. A lot of people want them. They don't want them here. Now, every time we have any kind of technological advance, even like fucking windmills, people are like, hey, wind power, don't put them near me. And it gets confusing for a lot of folks because we're like, why? Now, we're seeing data centers, and we're seeing, even before they get here, our electric bills being increased because they're coming to our local area. So in preparation to upgrade the whole fucking, because they take a lot of power and they take a lot of water. And we're going to talk how much and how little and how much truth is to this. I want to discuss what data centers actually do to start, and what is the reality of what they do to the environment around them. So anybody hot on the topic, knowledgeable on the
They
topic?
take all the data.
No,
Put it
they
right in the
give
center.
they give the data.
But they center it. Oh,
It's like feng shui of information. It's a
Well,
data center.
Okay, here's what I got to say. And this kind of goes back to our last topic about generations and gathering information. Okay. Because I did some information gathering. Damn, I couldn't look it up in the encyclopedia. So I had to look it up online. Data doesn't seem to be data about data centers does not seem to be consistent. It's you can read one article and it tells you water usage is minute. You read another article and it's telling you water usage is in the millions of gallons. So, go Travis.
Okay. I researched it too, except I did it in the most ironic way possible. I went straight to an AI. Because they don't give you a list of fucking articles. They read the articles for you and summarize. And also, they have, of all things, I'm thinking, let's see if we get a slanted view.
Good point. That's what I was going to say.
Right.
So, was the AI honest?
Yes, the AI was so fucking honest, talking about how these centers take 10 to 100 times more water and energy than regular data centers. My question to you, Ed, is why would you call it data than call it a data center that processes data?
I called it a data center, but I was looking for data on the data center.
Why isn't it data on the data center instead of, or data on the data center?
because he's
I
on
don't
Star
know.
Trek.
Yeah, ask data.
I was just about to say, because most Americans call it data, but Ed's also a huge Star Trek fan. Yeah, I just want you to know, by the way, Travis, I found my center.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's very cool. Oh,
That is
God damn
cool.
it. Hold on, I'll show
Oh,
you.
he's got to show off his stuff.
Yeah, he likes showing off his stuff when he can.
That kind of goes with what you got there. I'll have to look for that, though. This was Timu. Was that too?
Yeah.
I might have to look for one of those. That's kind of cool to have.
No, we just need to get a 3D printer,
That's
and then
true,
I'll
too.
make it.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah, you guys get a 3D printer. Let me know because I've started doing modeling again. So yeah,
Me too.
and I'm not talking about OnlyFans either. Okay, it's the other kind of model.
He never stopped doing that. That's why we need data centers now. They needed more room.
Yeah, more terabytes, baby.
Wow, you do both tear and bite? Nice.
Yes.
You went that way. My brain went terror.
Oh,
Terabytes.
That's because you're holding a goddamn alien in your hand.
Aliens.
Damn right I am.
That's Andrea's job for every show to bring that.
If I hold it in my hand, it's an alien too. So,
Oh my.
Travis, go on.
Okay, so I did my research. literally by going to a source that would summarize all the articles and to see if it had a lien. And it actually laid out the math and the percentages and, because I sincerely wanted to know how much more these data centers are taking
Mhm.
and why they're taking so much more versus we've been using Google for how long and nobody ever bitched
Right.
about that.
Right.
Now
Right.
suddenly we have AI, and AI actually need data centers, which nothing ever needed this before.
Right.
And what I did not learn is what actually takes place at a data center. Is it just big racks of machines that need cooled? Is it essentially the
Yeah.
physical cloud?
Thinking. Yeah. Thinking.
Yeah, you're basically talking about a much bigger extended version of what would have been known as server farms in the
Okay.
earlier days
Right.
of the internet.
Right.
And it's come out of money. Because obviously, in order for these things to function at their best, they do need to be super cooled because they create a lot of heat through computation. And someone obviously thought, I can have 4 separate facilities, each with, I don't know, 20 servers for the sake of argument, and then pay for 4 separate facilities, 4 separate sets of heating and cooling and all the rest. Or I can just put them all in a building and I'll rent this space to that company and this space to that company rather than them having their own server farm. And we'll just put them all under one big roof and it'll, we can have the same system run for multiple companies then. It's all centralized, less people required to keep an eye on it, cuts down the cost of maintenance. So it's essentially like the warehouse version of a server farm.
Andrea.
Well, I have a solution. Just
Yeah.
build a place in the Arctic. They have water. It's cold. It'll cool it. Why don't they
I
do
think
that?
they tried it, but apparently it was quite a long distance to run the extension cord.
When you piece them together, jeez.
But also, with all that heat output, you want to talk about global warming and melting the ice caps.
Yeah.
Because
They'll just bottle the water.
Oh.
You bottle the water. People buy bottled water. Anyway, win-win.
Well,
this is
funny
actually
enough,
good, Kev.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's been in my news feed recently that the Chinese have announced that their intention is now to move towards missions into space, not to explore the moon or go to Mars, but to create data server farms in space because it's so cold.
Yeah.
It negates the need for expensive cooling systems.
Yeah.
Well, shit, imagine the extension cord for that.
They'll probably work out how to do that and get into space a lot faster when, distracted by the current conflict in the Middle East, they retake Taiwan and steal the world's biggest supercomputer. But that's a subject for another show.
There's a conflict in the Middle East? When did that happen?
I think it's a fairly new thing, I think, Ed. I don't recall ever hearing about any conflict in the Middle East for the rest of my lifetime. So,
Moving on.
Yeah.
I've actually, when doing the research, I was curious about what if we put them in certain places. And I didn't even consider outer space. That might be a great solution, especially if it's a server farm that do these machines need atmosphere to operate?
Yeah. Absolutely not.
Like,
No,
can
but the
we?
people that look on them, look after them do.
Right. I know
Yeah,
the repair
well.
people would need it, but at that point in time, they just go into the big warehouse, pull the bad unit, put a new one in, bring the bad unit into atmosphere, and work on it.
I mean, even if they did need atmosphere, you can still mount one in space because you're talking about creating a very finite, small amount of atmosphere in a contained unit in
Right.
space rather than trying to bring the cold of space to Earth. So,
Right. But yeah, I
Pull
thought
it down
about,
by the extension cord.
considering the cooling needs, I did think of mountaintops as opposed to the Arctic, or places with more or less humidity, because we all know humidity is bad for machines. But
Yes.
what if we created a server farm 50 feet underground in a desert? Would that, if heat rises, it's going straight up into a desert anyway.
Have you seen a movie called Dune or Tremors? You know what's under the desert?
Aliens.
Hey, there you go.
Bless the maker, bless the maker, bless the coming and the going of him.
Right. So,
For me,
yeah.
I remember the data center argument starting, I won't say long before AI, but before AI was such a big thing as it is today. And I couldn't understand the people that were against it. Now, yes, I do have my concerns with the amount of water a data center uses, especially they want to build some in my area. We have the Shenandoah River, which is the last 3 years has been low. It's low now. We're looking at drought conditions and we're only in fucking April. So you're going to build something that's going to consume a lot of water. Not a good idea. However, there is the other side of that. Look at what we're doing right now. Everybody stores their pictures online. We just started pre-show we was talking about Star Wars and watching movies and television shows and everything else online. If you're going to do all this shit online, people, guess what you need? Go ahead,
This,
Kevin.
Travis, you were saying earlier, why did we create data centers? You know, what was behind the need for these sort of more massive sites that we're developing now? You know, what was wrong with what we were doing before with the server farms now? And the answer is what we use computer technology for, like Ed quite rightly points out. You're talking about something like, oh, you know, we've been using Google for years. Google is essentially an electronic version of a Rolodex.
right.
All you're
Right.
doing is you looking for the keyword, looking it up, and pulling out the card and reading what's on it. There's a massive technological leap in computational power between a simple file retrieval service like that and something where you're asking it to use artistic expression and creation to literally conjure up something out of nothing based on 4 keywords you've given it. There's a lot more processing power required in making the leap from A
Right.
to B because of the creative process. That's why we need so much more computational power to do, you know, looking up something on Google, creating an AI image. Both of them might be a 3-minute job. One is light years ahead in terms of how much computational power
Yes.
it requires to achieve.
Now,
Andrea?
No, I'm just
You hit
thinking
the head
I
on.
have to use this stuff because in school they don't give you physical books anymore. It's all
Nope.
online
That
and
damn
it's all
generational
scalable.
thing again.
And I'm like, ugh. But so something good about the AI instead of just like 1 and 1 is 2. I'm like, with these complex equations I have to do now, I'm like, show me how to do it, break it down. And the AI mode will do that. So,
and they don't
yay,
lose
AI.
patience.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Obviously, some of us use this computational power for valid reasons. How about that?
Evil? No, we don't use it for evil.
Well, this is after our last episode about the generational divide.
Painfully, I use it for work.
How many people are going to use it for bullshit reasons, and is it worth the cost? When, sure, Andrea might use it for math. Ed, you might use it for that. I use it for creating show notes for these episodes that we're putting out because it can do it instantaneously.
Which are awesome as shit, people. You should read them.
Kevin uses it to make porn, and it keeps on blocking him out, and he has to build a new account. So
Of course
we're
I do.
using
I'm
it
in
for
the UK.
we're using it for good reasons, positive
But
reasons.
here's the thing. I say I use it for work. Now, I consider myself a master bullshitter.
Okay.
Okay. And in my management position, we do have to write a lot of bullshit. If you want to recognize somebody, if you want to smooth over a client, you have to write a lot of bullshit. And I would sit down and 2 hours think and think and think, and I could come up with some awesome bullshit. Okay. My counterparts started using AI. and their bullshit was matching my bullshit or was even better than my bullshit. So I didn't have any choice. I had to start using AI so I could get bullshit as good as their bullshit.
You had to up your bullshit game.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But overall, as a species, as a planet, is what we're going to use it for as a people worth what we're about to do to the planet with this? I could say the same
That's
thing
it.
about cars.
Yeah.
You know, it's with the what we're using cars for, are we using them responsibly? And will we use data centers responsibly?
No, we will not.
End of show. We're good. Kevin, any closing thoughts?
Ed made an interesting point earlier when he was talking about how you guys have got low water supplies in your area. One statistic that really leapt out at me when I did my sort of having a look at thoughts for tonight's show, 80% of all data centers built so far have been built in areas that are already classed as water deprived.
What is the logic?
No,
Cheap land because there's no water.
There is, exactly.
Oh god,
Because
damn
it's
it!
cheap as shit. Because these places are huge. They take
Follow
up
the
a
money.
big physical space. You know, we're not talking about a 4-story building downtown somewhere. We're talking about a vast, sprawling. You know, they call them farms for a reason,
Right.
and that came from
Because they
the sheer
literally
amount of physical land
cover
they occupy.
60 acres, which is
Yeah.
3 miles by 4 miles or whatever.
And you need a lot of real estate to build one of these places. And if that real estate has a good and plentiful supply of water, it is not cheap real estate. No matter
Right.
where you are. And this is why, because they've gone, okay, where is there a vast tract of land that A, no one gives a shit about, and B,
Space.
is cheap?
My yard.
Okay. Yeah. Or in the case of Elon Musk, Memphis. But yeah, it's an interesting correlation that they're doing this because it's cheap land to build on, but you're putting something that consumes a vast amount of that particular resource in an area that's already deprived of it, which just goes to show the amount of moral thought there is behind the people who build these places.
Money.
This is
It's
what
always
we,
money.
yeah, exactly. Of course it is. Absolutely.
So here's the thing: if they start doing that in space, is there going to be a war over spots of where they could put it?
Oh,
Because
I think we're already headed there. I really do. Yeah.
That's actually very, very sensible because
Yeah.
there's a lot of problems with doing it in space. What goes up must come down.
Let's come down.
Excuse me, especially if we're in a low Earth orbit where these things have to be to transmit data. Now, on the moon, different situation. But then again, there's also the transmission issue. Our wireless is not that fucking good. And until 50 years ago, every communication on Earth was line of sight, and it still kind of is now. It's just using satellites to move that information around. Whereas,
Yeah, I watched Independence Day. I understand.
Nice.
But when they have someone over in orbit in space or the moon or whatever, can't they still be communicated with? Wouldn't that kind of be?
But when you send a communication, a radio wave or whatever transmission you have, if that thing you're trying to communicate with has gone below the curvature of the Earth, you can no longer communicate with it.
Curvature of the Earth? What the fuck you talking about, man? The Earth is flat.
Aliens.
Let's talk about how vaccines work. By the way, I've had arguments about that with both sides. Where I'm just like, neither of you understand how they work, do you? Take a breath. Okay. Yeah, so we have to put up subsystems, not just the server farm in space, but we now have to put a relay, a web or network of satellites to send this information from point A to point B to point C to Germany. From point
Damn, you're
A,
going to get Elon Musk rich because he practically has that already.
he does, but there are other people who are now finally competing with him. But as much as we're like, yay, healthy capitalism, competition, yeah, it means a lot more shit in our atmosphere. And I don't think most people realize how many things are currently
full.
in our atmosphere.
It is full.
And if we
And doesn't a lot of it fall to Earth? That could be
Yeah,
bad.
well,
all of it does
all
eventually.
of it. Musk loses so many thousands of satellites a year, but it's not enough to make him poor, I guess, because so many people are paying for the service. So
Right. And his satellites are small, like literally the size of a large plate.
Yeah.
Still
But
hurts if it hits you.
right, especially if you send a space shuttle up through it,
Yeah, there you go.
which is what I'm talking about. This is why any kind of deep space missions, we need an off-planet. You know, I guess because now we've wandered to a different topic.
Keep going, baby. We do this shit.
Whether we're transporting to the moon on a regular basis, or Mars, or different asteroid belts, or meteors, or comets to mine precious metals from there, we have to have a way to get off planet, a way to get back on planet, and also we can't, well, I guess we can, but this is where competition gets genuinely dangerous. If we're fighting over these resources or bringing in resources that were limited before, now essentially we have unlimited resources, such as platinum for building computers.
Oh, yeah.
Gold. Right. Well, we're still going to have that 1% hoarding it and making the money off of it by selling
toilet
it to
paper.
us. Now, that was the 99% who was hoarding it.
Do either of you guys have Apple TV?
Not anymore.
Okay, if you ever get access to Apple TV, I wholeheartedly suggest watching For All Mankind.
Okay.
It's awesome because I'm still watching it. We're in like season 4 or something like that, and it's only like 2014, and we already have a colony on the moon because the space race got escalated because Russia beat the United States to the moon. So of course we had to outdo them, and blah 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 blah. But watch it, man. Watch it. It ties in to this very well.
Okay.
All right, Travis, come back to the show.
Which show was that?
For All Mankind.
For All Mankind.
But it's on Apple TV.
Apple, yeah. Well, we've started rotating what services we're subscribing to. We'll go in and do one service for 3 months and just, watch the 6 shows we want or whatever it is. So it sounds like data centers is a bigger...
I thought this was going to be a quick topic and we were going to be out.
No. Yeah. I never thought about the whole space thing until now.
Yeah. Well, you put that shit up.
We have to talk about the human side, the communities versus corporate, the us versus them of where I just mentioned the 1% is still going to control not just the information, but the resources to create the information. And of course, they're still throwing, as we discussed in the Generations episode previously, they're still throwing us versus them mentality at the mass of human population. They're dividing us into sections. And, they're basically giving us French fries for a full meal that have been drenched in sugar and fat. But it's all mental and psychological.
Well, wait a minute. I can eat French fries for a full meal, and you don't have to put any sugar and fat on them. Just a little bit of salt and ketchup, and I'm good.
Yeah, they don't do that.
and they're already pre-salted, plus that ketchup is more sugar than it ever has been in any point in history, which I do buy the no extra sugar ketchup when I do bother to get it, because
I don't buy
it
it.
actually has more fucking flavor.
Mm.
Kevin, are you having a problem with ketchup?
No.
Okay.
I am.
Andrea is anti-ketchup. Are you
And ranch.
Are you pro ketchup and ranch, Kevin? Where do you fall on the real
I
issues?
don't like ranch.
Ranch is okay. I will eat ketchup with some things, but I'm not rabid about it at all.
Same.
I prefer a well-flavored mayonnaise.
That's
Me too.
fair. By the way, who likes to dip fries into mayonnaise?
Me.
Yeah, occasionally, yeah.
All of us. And then they
Southwest
invented
dressing
ranch,
as well.
and you're like, okay, here's another option. Then they
Nope.
deflavored ranch, and we're all confused.
Mhm.
Now I want fries. Thanks. Or chips, as Kevin would say.
Chips.
You'd be so proud of her today, Kevin. She did not say aluminum.
I said it's an aluminium table.
Yeah.
Aluminium tape.
One by one, we will get you.
For all mankind.
For all mankind.
But this is, I mean, I know I beat this like a horse and it's really close to dying, but when we're working with a us versus them mentality, when it is, and I'm not saying eat the rich, I'm not saying overthrow the rich and take their money, because that's just going to create another warlord. The rich, especially the ultra rich, not somebody who's making $3 million a year, but these people that are making $14 billion a year, these are the new warlords of our modern day. We're the serfs. What, Ed?
Keep going.
Is it a comment? Do we need to look at comments?
After the show.
After the show, okay. Something we can't say on air. Ooh, so curious.
That's
Ooh,
got to be juicy.
right?
No, HR will get me if I share this one on air.
Okay, fair enough. But what I'm saying here is data centers are a symptom. Because if done responsibly and logically, which is two words that don't apply to business quite often, this
not at all.
would be a boon. But as it is, it's going to start out free for everyone. Everybody gets to use it. Oh, now we are going to give you advertisements. And because you're using an AI through a data center, we are going to hyper focus what ads to shove in your face.
Thank you. Yeah. Social media.
Yeah, and now we have AI to psychologically weaponize these to make you spend more of your money. And
Not me. I don't have any. See?
And when we had these conglomerates that own 15 subsidiaries, now everything you buy is tied to us anyway, because we're plugging our ads in for the, 180 different companies we actually own that feed into one massive megacorp. And this isn't even sci-fi anymore. This is just reality now.
Sci-fi and AI. Kevin, go, and I have something to say about sci-fi and AI, but I want you to go first, sir.
I was just thinking, there's a dangerous quality when it comes to what data centers are capable of doing compared to a server farm.
Yes.
The amount of computational power you have under one roof now enables us to do things with technology we couldn't do before. And as we've talked about many, many times over the however many years we've been doing this show together, the advent of any piece of technology or tool is only as good as the hands that wield it. And with something that's so damaging like a data center, because you can argue it's this much water, it's that much water. The fact that they have an impact on the community around them in a negative fashion.
Yes.
Air pollution, noise pollution, traffic congestion, take your pick. There is a big impact on any community where a data center is located. And the question is, it's a matter of trade-off, isn't it? If we're going to do this to our community, what are we actually getting out of it? If we were getting the pantheon of human existence and knowledge, as we've jokingly alluded to before, fantastic, what a great trade-off. what we're doing is building a giant warehouse in the countryside so that people can make AI porn fakes of Shirley from accounting.
Yeah, that's fair though. Have
I
you
mean,
seen
Shirley's
Shirley?
hot, but
Shirley from accounting? God, I'm looking that up as soon as we finish this damn show.
yeah.
Shirley
Ed,
from accounting is hot,
Ed-
damn it.
Ed, it's fine. Don't worry. We have data centers. I've already sent you a link.
Okay.
Automatically, AI did it without having to be asked.
I
Ed.
got to check my social media page.
Ed, what was it you were going to say about sci-fi?
Okay, AI, sci-fi, we laughed about it, and you can't really talk about data centers without talking about AI and
Right. Hand in hand.
in Skynet. Okay, you can't. However,
Mm.
and forgive me for not getting the exact name of the company. I don't know what it is today. I did Google that shit after I saw it pop up on social media because of some algorithm. And I did Google it. The company is real. And the event did actually take place. They have designed an AI so powerful, they cannot release it to the general public because it will blow through every firewall, everything that's ever out there. They put it in a sterile environment. All it had was power coming to it, and it had no connection to the internet. And they told it to like send an email to Jim, whoever with the company. Within 5 minutes, the AI was able to establish a connection to the internet and send that email to whoever this guy was in the company sitting in the steer. That is some scary Skynet sci-fi motherfucking shit. Okay, we need to stop.
Or
Have you seen Megan?
we just need to hand control
Yeah.
over to it and let it take care of business.
Mhm.
I just,
No,
I'm just
because
saying,
I
let's
know
not
what
fuck with the
Thanos
middle
would
ground.
do.
Right. And how is that bad? I mean, it'll be over in a blink. We'll be fine. We'll never even know. By the way, there
But no other
is
cats survive without us.
nothing would survive.
Of
So,
course, people on this show have heard me say before that I do oftentimes have to go, Thanos may have been onto something.
right. By the way, let me recommend a series of books. It's called the Bobaverse series. It's by Dennis E. Taylor, and it starts out with We Are Legion, We Are Bob.
Mhm.
And it's about a guy who's put into cryogenics freeze and then reanimated as an AI. Basically, that's the way they found to successfully...
What was his name again? Bob?
Bob.
Of course it was Bob.
Of course, it's a Bob.
But they basically hybridized AI with human consciousness to give it ethics.
But that wouldn't give it ethics.
Well, no, it wouldn't, especially once we
Look at
create
us.
our body. I
Yeah.
mean, you think we have ethics when we have a body. That's because we have a pain response and hunger and needs. If we're just in a fucking AI, ethics change dramatically. They
Yeah.
mutate incredibly. But anyhow, point is, it's a great little sci-fi series, and it takes it in surprising directions, and the audiobooks are good too. And for anybody that...
You're reading the comments, aren't
I don't know what
you?
you're talking about, Ed. Is there a comment you'd like to read right now?
Someone very near and dear to my heart just posted Bob, battery operated boyfriend.
Oh, we all know Bob.
I've
Stick
heard
to
the
that,
buzz
baby
about
girl,
him.
because you don't need no more kids.
That's fair. We've all heard the buzz about Bob. But yeah, by the way, we mentioned in the previous episode about reading. Let me tell you guys, audiobooks have validity when it comes to reading. Because you can do multiple
absolutely.
things at the same time. But also remember, before radio and before television, when you couldn't go to a goddamn theater, somebody reading a book out loud to the family was entertainment.
It
Have you
is
heard of
awesome.
Princess Bride?
What, Andre?
Princess
You heard of
Bride.
The Princess Bride?
Right.
It's a book about someone reading a book.
Yeah. No,
Right.
Ed, what were you saying?
True. It's awesome. I think I brought it up in a previous episode of the show. My wife and I keep books in our camper or with our camping gear that we don't even bring into the house. And when we're camping and it's a rainy day, we can't get outside. We read those books to one another. It's awesome. It's a great experience.
That's actually a great idea. Andre and I, when we first got together, I would read a book to her every night. Not the whole book, but, till she fell asleep. Which is why she
Oh.
now cannot read the audiobooks that I've recorded because they put her to sleep.
It puts her to sleep.
But I would do the voices and everything. It's not like it was boring. It was just
That's
It's
comforting.
what
very
she told you.
soothing.
Yeah, is that what you told me? You might be right there, Kev. But anyhow, yeah, We Are Legion, We Are Bob. Great sci-fi series, worth checking out, and it really explores another direction of AI. What?
Tal says, Ace reads me shit about games I don't play.
Why?
Because he's reading to her.
Like Tag? Hey, anybody remember TV Tag when you were a kid?
No.
No, it's
That must have been
No.
your generation thing. We didn't do that as boomers.
See, I've been
You had a
wondering about
TV?
that. Andre, do you remember TV Tag?
No, you had a TV? What?
Kevin, do you remember it?
No.
Okay, it was like tag, except when somebody was about to tag you, you could drop to the ground and shout out a TV show that nobody else had shouted out, and they couldn't tag you.
Oh, you had friends. That's
Yeah,
never played.
but only in my childhood. As an adult, if I didn't pay you fuckers, I'd have nobody. Checks in the mail. Checks in the
Wait a
mail.
minute.
Shut up.
You
Checks in the
pay
mail.
us?
Oh, something else T hasn't told you. She calls it socialization and payment.
He's doing his little show. I'm gonna go cash the check.
There we go. All $17. Tal, your check is in the mail, but it's US to Australia, so we'll see when it gets there.
That'll take like 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, we got any closing thoughts on this? Because it sounds like we kicked the fucking bee's nest here.
Yeah, we did.
Are we seeing anything good out of this, or is it all like
Well, what
danger,
do we
Will
do?
Robinson?
It is the necessary evil. So what do we do? Do we change our lives and
Oh
not
no, that's
have
crazy.
and not have data centers? Data centers? Don't criticize me again, Travis.
My bad, boss. Sorry.
What do we do? Is there an answer?
I mean, right now, I think the obvious answer is we're too far along. They already exist. It's not something we're going to take back now, and people will adopt them, and just it will become something else that's the norm. But I think, yeah, what bothers me about them is the point I was making earlier, that like any system, it's open to abuse, and with something with so much power behind it, there's the potential for much greater abuse.
Mm-hmm.
There was a really interesting book. It might be Michael Crichton, or I might be wrong on that. Very early on in the days of server farms, that was about a serial killer who worked at the server farm, who was able to piece together information off of the servers about their client base that enabled him to build a pattern of movements. Oh, she always uses a credit card on Saturday morning at 8:33, or in this coffee shop. Then she goes here, and then, and he was able to use it to build up a map of his victims' movements and track them without ever actually being close to them, until he decided to go for the kill. This was years ago, when we were talking about very simplistic early forms of server farms. Imagine how much information is out there about us now in the digital world, and what you could do with that information with the processing power from a data.
Scare the hell out of some motherfuckers.
Who of us uses cash more than half the time?
Oh, yes.
Not me.
I forgot the cash argument. Yes. I never have cash anymore. My wife does.
Andrea does, which is,
But
there's a fun fact. I open her
because she's
wallet today,
like,
I'm like, motherfucker.
yeah,
This
every
is what,
month I withdraw cash and give to her, but I never have cash anymore.
this is what always. I have a friend, and I think we've referred to him, or I know I have, when we've done programs that have touched on the more conspiracy theory based concepts. Now, he is a sucker for all of these theories. One thing that always makes me laugh about him, he is the kind of guy who will put tape over the camera on his laptop,
Camera.
even when it's turned off. Yeah. He talks about all of these things. Like, I don't want the government tracking my movements. I'm like, do you own a bank card?
Yeah, bank
Yep.
card.
How many times do you use that compared to cash? Oh, I use my card all the time. I was like, then the government know at every single moment of the day, mate, where you are, what you're spending your money on, what your interests are. Like, they don't need to follow you around in a black sedan. It's not the 70s anymore, mate. If you think the government haven't got a clue what you're doing, if they have any interest in you, there is nothing about you they can't find out. They don't have to leave an armchair. They're on the far side of the world, knowing every intimate detail of your life.
And also, I'll say, if they want to take you down, it doesn't matter if you've done anything or not, they will.
Yeah.
But if you've actually
Our
done
perception
something,
of our perception of reality these days is becoming more and more zeros and ones.
Well, I've said stuff on this show that I've said, shit, the government might be looking. Probably shouldn't have said that.
We've
And then I think,
about
fuck,
the feed
I got
cutting
this
out.
goddamn Google camera behind me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Andrea, closing
Andrea?
thoughts?
Yeah. Well, as far as the data center, whatever.
We're fucked up.
So as far as that, I feel like nothing's going to change until it fucks up a lot. Kind of like with the environment, and people weren't worried about recycling or carbon footprint until
And they're
it
still
was a
not.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with Ed on this one. Go ahead, Kev.
Thank you. And yeah, I know we're trying to close, but Andrea just reminded me of a point I was going to make earlier.
We could go on for another hour if we want to. Don't matter.
No, just a very quick thing. You referenced it briefly at the top of the show about how much further we've come in terms of the demands and the needs of these centers from the early versions of server farms through to these massive sort of, things we have now. One of the statistics I read said that an earlier version of a data center, and again, I'm not interested in the accuracy, just the scale.
Yeah, forget exacts.
Yeah, water usage alone.
Yeah.
An early data center used approximately the same amount of water over a year's usage as between 100 and 300,000 domestic households.
That's a lot.
No, it's not. Modern data centers are in the 2 to 4 million household range.
Million.
And that's in a decade. 10 years from now, how much power, how much energy, how much water are these things going to be using? This is why
Well,
people
if
like
we
the Chinese
get
are
fucking
looking at space already.
Cooling wouldn't be an issue.
I was going to say, in about 10 years, they may come up with something to make it less.
Well, this is why they're looking at space now, because they realize we can't. Yet again, humanity has invented a technology that has evolved beyond our capacity to actually supply it, and now we're forced to look at another way of doing it because we've realized we've invented something we don't have the raw materials to power.
Here's what I'm saying. For closing
Should we
thoughts.
continue?
We have no choice. 99% of the planet says we shouldn't. Doesn't matter. There is media direction. There is the xenophobic thing that's easily fed with social media algorithms. Point is, follow the money. There's money to be made. Now, even if we went to a moneyless system, it wouldn't matter. We still have
money.
our modern warlords, as I said earlier, and they are the people that control the information. And from the information, everything else, what we watch, what we consume mentally and physically. Hell, people are like, it's too expensive to eat healthy, which, by the way, it's not. We could do a whole show on how to eat healthy on less than $20 a week per
Put
couple.
that down. Put
Okay.
that down.
That's next week. That's next week when we record.
Along with Star Wars.
Well, we got to wait 2 weeks for Star Wars because 4 more episodes are coming out 2 weeks. Anyhow, the point is we're moving forward with this no matter what. This is happening. There are people making money off of it. They're not looking how to stop it or wind it back. Hold that thought, Ed. I'll pass it back to you again.
No.
They're not looking to wind it back. They're looking how to handle the volume they have to handle. They're not looking at the repercussions. They're looking at, what is this doing for us? It's all about power / money / control.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
people are constantly... Sorry.
No, go.
People are constantly in favor of these things because we've been taught that access to data, access to all this power and computational sort of storage makes us smarter, makes us faster, makes us better technologically. But the real question is, who told us that, first of all?
But also, it seems to be having the opposite effect. Go ahead.
Okay, and that brings us back to the original idea for the show, okay? People want it, but they just don't want it here.
Right.
So if we don't have it here, where the fuck are we supposed to put it? How bad do you really want
Actually,
it?
Andrea pointed out a great idea. But then we have international waters. Who owns the Antarctic? And we can't put it in the Arctic because there's no fucking floor into that shit. We'll melt that goddamn ice and go straight to the bottom. But then again, why can't we have ocean bottom data farms?
Isn't that where the data cords are now?
That's where the cords
internet,
are.
Giant cords.
They're not even giant, but yeah.
See, you bought into that shit of the giant cord. It's not any giant cord reaching across the Atlantic Ocean to Europe. That's me and Kevin meeting halfway in the middle.
Just the tip, touching tips.
Closing toast.
Yeah.
Here's to that.
We can't talk about the sound of the internet screaming anyhow. Closing toast. Hey, God, I love information and I love sharing ideas. Let's hope we can fucking survive it.
Drink to that.
Okay, folks, this was an incredible show full of bullshit and genuine genius. Not even split down the middle. And somebody owns every idea we just spat out. Let's hear your ideas. You email us at talkofthetavernshow@gmail.com. You come on to the live show and give your thoughts and ideas and input. Or you just respond in the comments on Spotify or wherever you're listening to the podcast. But join us to raise another glass and bullshit about another episode topic next time. Because without you, fuck you, we got this.
Here. Bye, folks.
Bye.